we now continue our what we've been doing for the past few days now. Continue our series of previewing, each group at Euro 2024. Since the start of the Euros, we are 7 days away now. The Euros will kick off in 7 days, next Friday, when Germany take on Scotland. I'm so excited for that game. I'm so excited for this European Championship. As you can tell, it's going to be a great summer of soccer with the European Championship and Copa America. Anytime I discuss a Euro topic, it just excites me. It's just what I love to do, international soccer. So we move on to Group C. Slovenia, led by Benjamin Sesko. Denmark, who made the semifinals last season. Serbia, who's always been a very legit team since gaining independence, but have qualified for multiple World Cups, but never been at a European Championship until now. They're here for the first European Championship appearance. And then the England, the national team that has expectations of winning it all, whether it's right or wrong, that's a whole different conversation there. For me, I think there's three good teams in my opinion in this group, and I think there's one, team that's clearly a class below the rest. Slovenia, this is their first major international tournament since the 2010 World Cup. They were actually in the United States national team group at that World Cup. They're a decent team now. They are actually interesting. They were actually matched up with Denmark in the Euro qualifier groups. They were matched up in the same group with Denmark. They finished second behind Denmark, but they finished second behind Denmark because of head-to-head. Actually, they had better goal differential, but because of head-to-head, they finished second behind Denmark because Denmark beat them in the Denmark game. And the game that happened in Slovenia finished with a draw. So based on head-to-head, Denmark finished above them. But this is a Slovenia team that actually had a decent qualifying campaign. They did have a few concerning results when they drew to Malta, when they lost to I believe it was Northern Ireland. I believe they had a second loss they lost to Finland. They did lose to Finland. But it's a team that's led by, number one, they have the best goalkeeper in the world, arguably, with Jan Oblak. Jan Oblak is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and there hasn't been much talk about him as much as there was a few seasons before, but he's still a very, very, very good goalkeeper. And it's nice because this is going to be his first international tournament at the big lights. He is 31 years old, but it's good for him that he gets this opportunity. They also have a guy like Josip Ilicic, who's a brilliant player at Atalanta, but he's a little bit now older, 36, playing in the Slovenian league. So I don't know what kind of impact he could have at this European Championship. Because of the fact that he is playing in the Slovenian league. He scored 9 goals this season in 31 matches, but he was a guy at Atlanta that had a lot of talent, but he is just, he's just a little bit over the hill. But the main star of the show is Benjamin Sesko, who I believe has a chance to have a breakout tournament this year for Slovenia. This is a guy that's been already there's teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, United that are not United, but Chelsea and Arsenal that potentially might want to sign Benjamin Sesko, and I think it's imperative of any club wants to sign him before the European Championship, because the kind of impact the European Championship can have on a player's value. You saw what happened to Cody Gakpo at the last World Cup. I think similar breakout tournament is coming for Benjamin Sesko. I think he is the star of Slovenia. All the pressure of the nation will be on his shoulders as he will be leading this team at this European Championship. He is their main goal scorer. He scored 14 goals this season in 31 games for Slovenia. So I think he's destined. But at the end of the day, when it comes to competing for against Denmark, Serbia, and England, I don't think they'll have enough there. Now, as far as Denmark, this is a team that made the last World European Championship semifinal, but then between sandwiched from this Euros between last Euros, they did have a poor World Cup campaign where they finished. They did not get out of the group. They lost to France on a last minute. Well, they drew first. They didn't get a single win. They drew to Tunisia game 1, and then they lost to France, and then they went into the Australia game needing a result, and then they got done by Australia. So they did not actually get out of their group, and it was a group that they should have get out of. They were a better team than Australia, and they were a better team than Denmark. Point and simple. Better than both teams. But they looked a little bit lackadaisical. But this is still a team that has a lot of talented players, in my opinion. And I love their manager. Their manager is a player that plays very good football, and Kasper Højlund. What he did with that Denmark team at the European Championship was amazing, and I really love the style of play that he implements within this Danish team. And this team has spirit. This is going to be Christian Eriksen's first game in a European Championship since he collapsed actually at the last European Championship, which is going to be a big storyline. You got a guy like Rasmus Højlund coming into the mix. He's gonna have a chance for a potential breakout tournament. They're gonna need him in terms of goal scoring at this because the goal scoring was a huge problem for Denmark at that last World Cup. So I do think Rasmus Højlund, he's gonna be an important factor for this team going into it. Now they're gonna play. They're gonna go with that. With the back five. I fully expect them to go with the back five. They played that against Slovenia in the penultimate game of qualifiers, and that's what they love playing. So, but my thing is, he likes going. It's gonna be Eriksen, probably Dolberg, and Højbjerg. I think Mæhle and that left wing back position will be a little shaky. I don't know what direction that they might go. Christiansen is a potential option for them. At the friendlies against Sweden, they actually played Mæhle at that left wing back position. Brought in Alexander Bah to play that right wing back position, who's had a very good season for Benfica. That is a potential option. I think Højbjerg, Nørgaard, Eriksen, that would be the three. And I don't know who he goes up top with Højlund, who he plays with him. In the qualifiers, he had Yusuf Poulsen up there, which is a guy that he's trusted, but not on the best form this season. Hasn't started much games for Denmark. He's a guy he could play next to him. There's also potentially at this last friendlies he played Jonas Wind. That could be an option. But the main thing with Denmark is if they want to have a good European Championship is goal scoring. They need those two guys up front to create goals. I don't think goal chance creation is the problem. I think they have creativity. I think they play good ball and good football and can get balls in dangerous areas. Is whether or not they can get into the back of the net, which is going to be the issue. Now, Serbia is a team that's very, very talented. Very, very talented. Very, very talented. I think the key with them is if they can they play Vlahovic and Mitrovic together, because I think they're two very, very good strikers that do a little bit differently. Vlahovic is a little bit more finesse, while Mitrovic is more, a target man, prototypical center forward. So there's different dynamics there. I think Tadic will play in behind them, who's still very, very good. You got a midfield playing with Milinkovic, Savic, Maskovic, alongside Tadic. You got a guy like Luka Jovic that you can potentially bring off the bench. You got guys like Filip Kostic, in my opinion. This is a very, very, very talented team that I really think could give England a run for their money. And then England is, you see the quality that they have in the team. I discussed them earlier today. Now they do have some defensive concerns, which maybe if you're a guy like Benjamin Sesko or Rasmus Højlund, or or Vlahovic or Mitrovic, you might be fancying your chances seeing that England back line. But at the end of the day, they have the most talented team in this group. And with Gareth Southgate at England, they always meet their expectations. There's no huge disaster classes for them. So they're going to win this group because that's just what they do. But it's when they get into the knockout stages is when I don't trust them. It's when I don't trust Gareth Southgate going up against the real opponents. So I think England win this group. I think based on sheer experience and just the trust I have in their manager, I think Denmark will right the wrong of last World Cup. They'll get through. I think Serbia will finish third, even though I think they are a wild card in this, and potential X factor in this competition, and easily have a chance to battle with the front two. But still, I'm gonna give them third for now, even though I'm not sleeping on them. And then I think Slovenia is just a class below the rest of these teams, so I think Slovenia will finish last.